Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Living Divinity. So, today I want to thank God for the opportunity to read for all of you. And I want to thank all of you who have been with me from the beginning to now. Thank you so much for your support. Exchange of good energy is if you like, share, subscribe, make comments, and I want to let you know that if I want to feel supported, I must support myself. So the energy may be for you or for someone you know that to have no hope, to not hold on to faith, to not believe in love. You have to clear out the chatter, whether it's in your mind or if it's the people around you, that you have to stand firm in what you choose, what is right for you. Don't allow fear to stop you from doing whatever it is that you choose to do in your own life. There's many reasons why people would do that to you, to make you fear. I grew up being in that fear. My siblings used to walk me through the cemetery, and back in the day, Night of the Living Dead. It was a movie that I watched as a young child, and although it may have been daylight, my siblings used to walk me through the cemetery, and I would hear certain people whisper, but I couldn't hear what was being said. And all of a sudden, they would all start running, and they would tell me that the night of the living dead, the people are going to come out of the ground and they're going to nab me and take me underground, and I'm going to be suffocating and I'm going to die. So that's just one little story. When you have fear instilled within you, it makes you be afraid to make choices, the best choices for yourself. No matter what terror I was put through, the reason why they thought it was okay, because it was done to everybody else. And that's kind of a sad way to think about it. But the thing is it actually made me stronger. It actually made me realize that hurt people do hurt people. It made me realize that there are evil entities that will come out in different people at different times. And it's a horror that probably each one of my siblings had to deal with. And I'm the youngest, so I got it all. I got everything every sibling ever got, I got. And this is not a pity party. This is to let you know that you have the strength within you to rise above that fear. Fear is just an illusion. Fear makes you not do what is right for you, whatever that is. I just want to read for you Psalm 143. O Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my cry for mercy. In your faithfulness and righteousness, come to my relief. Do not bring your servant into judgment, for no one living is righteous before you. The enemy pursues me. He crushes me to the ground. He makes me dwell in darkness like those long dead. So my spirit grows faint within me. My heart within me is dismayed. I remember the days of long ago. I meditate on all your works and consider what your hands have done. I spread out my hands to you. My soul thirsts for you like a parched land. Selah. Answer me quickly, O Lord. My spirit fails. Do not hide your face from me, or I will be like those who go down to the pit. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I lift up my soul. Rescue me from my enemies, O Lord, for I hide myself in you. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground. For your name's sake, O Lord, preserve my life. In your righteousness, bring me out of trouble. In your unfailing love, silence my enemies. Destroy all my foes, for I am your servant. So you've probably heard me say this before, I've always had God with me, and I say because my grandmother prayed for every one of her children. She prayed for every one of her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren and generations to come for her bloodline. My grandparents were devout Christians. When they married in a Catholic church. They both went through the whole process of the Catholic faith. At one point, my grandmother chose to change to Pentecostal, and she believed that only through her church could you go to heaven. That's the one thing ever that people saw as my grandmother not speaking any truth. The truth is, God was always with her, so wherever she was, God was. And she instilled in me many good things. She was never judgmental. She loved everybody. And there was a time I looked in her eyes, got real close. I was somewhere between third grade and fifth grade, because before that I lived too far away. I lived at one end of the town, and my grandmother's house was at the other end, 1 mile long. And when I was living on that side of town, I wanted to walk to Grandma's house, and my mom wouldn't allow me because I was only 7 or younger. And then when we moved halfway through, I could go to Grandma's house whenever. And it was only actually, it was only like 3 blocks away. And my grandmother's bloodline is a spiritual warfare. It is something that the devil wants to stop. And I'm here to tell you that when I began doing my spiritual work, which was around 2018, maybe it was 2019, I had been watching the tarot for quite some time, but when I sat up in my bed and I said, all right, God, I'm ready to take the leap of faith. Show me something, because I'm at my wit's end. with this situation. And when you claim, when you are speaking from your heart, God, show me. He will. He divinely guided me out of my horrible situation I was in. And I didn't do it with hate or malice. I did it with love. That's one thing that Chris could never say, is that I never loved him. And he can't say that I ever hated him. So I'm here to tell you, those who are struggling, because people have instilled fear within you, even from a child, all the way up to where you are now. There's a reason for that. It's for you to say, hey, God, I never really knew you. I've heard people from time to time bring up your name, but I've never known you really. God, there must be some reason why I've gone through all of this. You must have a bigger purpose for me. Please reveal it and help me to get on that path. Help me to rejuvenate myself. Help me to support myself, to say I'm deserving of this, Lord. Help me to know that I'm worthy of this, Lord. I'm worthy of your grace. I'm worthy of your love. I'm worthy of your compassion. I'm worthy of your forgiveness. I'm worthy of being someone that my ancestors can be very proud. My people around me, those that don't believe, will drop away from my life. Those that don't believe will be silenced in my mind, and that I can freely move on this path without the fear of judgment of others. I know in my heart that I want to be a better person. I know in my heart that you must have bigger, better things planned for me, for everything that I've gone through. Help me, Lord, and help me to never walk away from you. Once you reveal to me who you are and who I am to you, I want to learn to love myself. I want to learn to appreciate myself. And I know that that's what I must do. I must honor my life, the life that you have given me. So, my message that I feel like I'm guided to say is, fear not. When you have asked God to come into your life, fear not of anything. God will provide for you. God will make things happen. So, I want to tell you this little story here. I was painting for my girlfriend, and we never really discussed money. She had asked me if I wanted her washer and dryer, and I said, why? Because she's not living there. It's an empty unit. She's had it completely redone and that sort of thing. But she says, would you like my washer and dryer? And I thought about it, and I just reorganized my place, and there's not really any room for it. And the thought of having a washer and dryer is convenient. However, the electric and gas would go up. And I told her, thank you, but it's just going to make my bills go up, and I can do laundry for $12. And I know that if I have a washer and dryer, I could probably add $12 each on my electric and my gas. So I declined. So I told her I would do the work. We never discussed any money, but in my mind, I felt like maybe she was trying to do a offset of, well, if you do this work for me, then you can have the washer and dryer. So she's away on vacation, and I think she comes back today. So throughout the time that she's been gone, all the work's done except for I have to put the items back in place that I have staged in the middle of her garage. And so God has been nudging me to try to help the homeless. So I actually Googled like the dollar store to see how much their food is there, so I could get a general idea. And then one of my neighbors, both husband and wife, were both working, and they have 2 kids they're trying to raise, and so they've had a string of bad luck. They The wife lost her job for whatever reason. I don't know if she's on medical leave or what, and but she's not working. So then, just recently, it was Halloween night, and the father was taking the 2 boys out trick-or-treating, and then either they got back or one of the neighbors saw someone going into the garage, but she didn't say anything to them. But 2 of their bikes, the 2 boys' bikes, were stolen. And so at the same time, this homeless guy knocked on my door, and I was getting food ready for him to take. And so I really feel like God is nudging me to try to help the community. And I've kind of gotten away from that because of the negativity that's so much here in this beautiful little town. So I have been kind of reaching out and helping people a little bit, and it's only through God's blessings that I am able to do that. And one of the blessings is that when I help people, I'm blessing them through God, right? And through helping them, God blesses me. And when I give, the people are so full of gratitude, and by my gift of giving that God has put in my soul to do. God is restoring hope. God is restoring faith in our neighbors. Doing just little things that are helpful is very much appreciated in these days, especially when there's no, I don't really ask for anything in return, maybe a hug or something, from the children. So in any event, on Halloween night, the homeless guy was preparing food for him, and I never let anybody in my house really. He just stood out on the sidewalk. And so the younger boy thought that he had something to do with the bikes being taken, but it turned out that one of the lady neighbors saw the activity. So they've had a loss of a job, they've had their property stolen, and then the lady and the son were out there, and they were wringing out a blanket, and that their washer broke. So I was trying to get $50 out of my girlfriend so I could buy food for the homeless guy. And then since she wanted to possibly do an offset for the work for the washer and dryer, then I would just give the washer and dryer to the people, right? And to the couple trying to raise their kids. And what's transpired since then is she's still on vacation, and she flies back today. She hasn't answered me. I asked her, could I get paid $50 plus the washer and dryer? So now, your soul tribe comes out, right? The messages come. So I get a phone call from a neighbor down the street that I spend time with, and she said, my daughter-in-law brought me all these frozen foods that you put in the microwave and you eat, and she's like, how about you come by and get them, and then you could pass them out through the neighbors. And I said, I've been feeding this homeless guy, so maybe I'll just heat up one of those every time he comes. So if there's 20 of them, I have enough to feed him for 20 days. And then so I'm still waiting for the outcome. So I have to reiterate that I don't need that $50, but if she will give me the washer and dryer in lieu of the work, then I'll just give it to my neighbors. And I'm not saying this to you to tell you that I want accolades for this, because I don't. All the glory goes to God, because God is connecting me with helping hands that I can help other people. And that's where we're at in this world. We have to open ourselves up to spirituality, to choosing the higher self. Spirituality could be good or bad, just like going to church could be good or bad. And I say going to church could be good or bad because there's many people who go to church and then come out of church and they gossip. They might I don't know, have their different twists. I'm just saying, not every Christian is bad. I'm just saying you have good and bad wherever you go. So it's a matter of choice. I recently sent my daughter a message. I said, always choose love, integrity, and truth. And that's really another story, but I will keep sending my daughter messages and keep my side of the communication open. And you plant the seed now. You plant good seeds now, and you nurture them and you water them. If I just send her that message and never send her another message, that seed has died. Energetically, we're connected, and I know that she knows that I love her, and I know that she loves me, but we are on two different planes here on this earth. She's doing very well for herself. I just want her to know that regardless of whatever it is, she needs to be truthful to herself. She needs to love herself. She needs to have integrity for herself so that she could have it for others. And I'm here to tell you, whatever it is, don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Do not give up on your dreams. Do not allow people to tell you you're foolish for going in that direction. Never allow people to dictate the choices you make in your life, because if you allow people to choose for you, nobody really knows you like you. And that's another thing about when you choose, if you watched my other readings, I've told you that when my daughter was 6 months old, I went to see a therapist because her dad told his family members that I was crazy and that I'd be nice one minute and flip the switch and I'd turn evil. But he wouldn't be telling them that he's acting like a fool or he's being showing some negative patterns that I really was hoping that he could fix. He wasn't sharing that part. And whether I was actually a light switch or not, it was many years ago, and I know that I wanted him to embrace our child. I wanted him to spend time with our child, and he didn't see it that way. He thought I was trying to bail out and caring for our child in the middle of winter. She was only a few months old, and well, even newborn, I guess. I'd have to bundle her up and take her with me to the grocery store because either he was working or he was sleeping, or he didn't want to care for her for that 30 minutes. But in any event, as she got older, he would care for her. He would watch her. And we just couldn't balance out. And I don't think that we were really meant to stay together. I think that from the beginning, with all the red flags, I still married him. And, I always told him paybacks would be a MFer. And yeah, I tried to pay him back, but that was not the right way to go about it. And that's a mistake that I'll have to learn to live with. And I have learned to live with it. I have asked God for forgiveness. I have been working on myself. I have been, trying to make sure my train of thought is correct. I'm not perfect. I'll never claim to be perfect. I'm just here to tell you that whatever it is you're going through, fear not when you know that you have claimed God to be on your side, and you know that you have made changes, even if in baby steps, going in the right direction. Don't stop there. Don't revert back to who you were. I mean, who would I want to be? Who I was when I was younger? I guess in many ways, if I could take the knowledge back that I know now, my life could have gone in a different direction. But what good is it to hold on to the what ifs? You take each day by day and you move forward in the brightest light that you can. And you start your day off with gratitude. You start your day off with thanking God. You start your day off saying, talking to yourself in the mirror, I'm worthy of a good life. I'm worthy of having real, true love in my life. I'm worthy of having a beautiful future. I'm worthy because God stands by me. Right? Whenever you start thinking negative, you say that's not my thought. We have negative people who know how to manipulate. You could go into work, and the first thing that happens, they deliberately do it to set you off, so they can say you're an emotional wreck, you're not stable, but they're not telling their part that you were being, whatever, mentally, physically, spiritually abused, by that person, by the words that they were using, the tone of their voice. They don't ever tell that part. They just tell the part of how you went off. Well, maybe he or she got up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe he or she had a situation at home that they're bringing to work. Misery loves company. So if someone has a miserable attachment to them through things that they haven't healed, they cast it out so that they can snicker and laugh about, look what we put him through. Look what we put her through. I've endured that. So right now I choose to be alone. I choose to break away from anybody at any time without a ounce of guilt, because my self-preservation has to come first. If I'm trying to be out there helping people, if I haven't helped myself, if I drain my cup of love, who's going to fill it? Well, God. Of course, God will fill it, but I can't do things that take away my energy. I can't be around negativity. I can't be around gossipy people. I can't be around lying, trifling people. So, going back to real quick, when I started this journey, I put on Facebook and I tagged 100 of my followers, 100 of my friend group. Love is the most powerful force in the world. If you believe it, share it. So keep in mind as well as I tagged those 100 people, but I did it by just going under the comments and then typing A, B, whatever, and it pulls up names. So I did it that way. So keep in mind, at that time I had 5,000 followers. Those 100 people, only 22 people shared. Or I should say, out of the people, when I posted it, I know that 100 people were in the comments, but at the same time, other people saw that comment, only 22%. So I take the 22% and I just base it on the 100 people that I know saw it. And then, so there's another 78% who were, some of them were on the fence, some of them didn't bother to even open up the message, some of them were just in total disagreement, or they didn't care enough. So that's the value system that we have today, is only 22% showed value in love. So I'm going to end this, but I just want to tell you, when you choose to have God in your life, God has always been with me again because of my grandmother's prayers, all the seeds that she planted, all the prayers that she prayed. My grandmother was 84 when she died. So I would tell you that there was probably 50 years of it that she had been praying. She'd be praying for her own children. She'd be praying for her husband who was in World War I and World War II. I believe that my grandfather was young when he went, so maybe he didn't even know my grandmother during World War I, or maybe they were just friends. I never got to ask them, but my grandfather was a early, brave, courageous man, young, and he was in World War I as in the army, and my grandfather carries the last name of Cabatuan. There's a whole province or a whole city there in the Philippines that has his name. So I know he comes from someone very important, his bloodline, which is also my bloodline. My grandmother, she was born in 1907. And my mom was born in 1930, and my auntie was born a year or two before. So I can't really do the math right now, but so I know possibly my grandmother didn't even know my grandfather during World War I. But then when World War II came about, they recalled a lot of the Filipinos who were in the First World War. Even though they were older, they called them in because a lot of Americans couldn't tell the difference between the Filipinos and the Japanese. And my grandfather was a scout. So all those years of prayer, all those years of having faith, all those years of having hope, I won't let that die within me. I will continue my journey, and no man on this earth, no evil entity will ever stop me from my path. I say return to sender. For those who are sending me love right now, thank you, and I return to sender the same love that you sent to me. Those that hate me, those that hate God, those that choose to judge me, I return it back to them. This is not malicious. This is a thing that God allows us to do. God gives us the authority to do the return to senders. God gives us the authority to call for justice. God gives us authority to stand in truth and love and integrity. When we claim to say, hey God, come into my mind, body, and soul. God, I invite you into my home. I invite you to be with me in the car when I'm riding down the road, so I have safe passage from point A to B and from point B to A. God, be with me. Send holy angels of protection to my loved ones. Even those that hate me, that don't want anything to do with me, that are in my bloodline. I say, God, touch their heart. Touch their heart so they'll stop being jealous. Touch their heart so they'll stop being envious. I have so much less on this earth than so many out there. But they attack me because of my spiritual love, my spiritual truth, my spiritual integrity. And I return to sender. And I pray that they learn a lesson. And I pray that they don't fall on the side when God's ready to call us. I pray that they all remember what place my grandmother holds in heaven, and how her bloodline, my grandfather's bloodline, means the world to them. And regardless of what anybody thinks about tarot being evil, they need to open their eyes and at least watch one reading so they can either prove that it's true, or they could be shown that it's not true. Fear not, people. When you claim God, all you have to do is say the words, I have God in my life now. Be gone. I have God in my life now. I have courage. I have strength. I have integrity. I have the most powerful force within me because God bestowed it upon me. I am a child of God. You all have a beautiful day. Don't give up on your dreams. I'm inspiring you, I hope, to keep pushing through to that best version of you. Thank you, God, for this beautiful reading. Thank you all who have joined me. Without you, there's no need for me to be here. Have a beautiful day. See through a clear lens of how beautiful your life really is. Do not judge what you have on this physical world to what others have. Do not make it a competition. You compete with yourself. You say, I did a little bit better today, God. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do a little bit better. So I leave you with good, better, best. Never take a rest until your good is better and your better is your best. Sending you love and light. Bye.